First of all, I would like to say thank you for my colleagues. Thank you for Margaret and Marta and all Maxwell who have offered internship here in Syracuse University. It's a very good opportunity for me. And you can see the theme. You can see that it's very important to talk about the universities right now because of global agenda, because of openings, globalization, because of internationalization. And now you can see in the room different people who are very involved into this theme because of some of us are getting the education, some of us are returned to the university. So now it's like a very popular issue. And now we start from this theme. Let me a little bit start from the very beginning. So I represent Tomsk State University, as Marta said, and I'm from Russia, from Tomsk region. Here you can see the particular place in our country. So it's sort of the center, and particularly it's on the south of the West Siberia. As for the Siberia, you can see different images about our place. So you can see that the weather of Syracuse is quite similar with us. And as for Tomsk, it is famous for his wooden lace architecture. And as to talk about the university, actually Tomsk is a student city. We have 6 universities, and we have a unique location and different famous people who work at Tomsk State University. We have 2 Nobel Prize winners, and now we have 2 Nobel Prize winners who are working recently now at the university. And in the middle, you can see Terence Callaghan. It's very close to his work because now he's working in Tomsk State University. In our work, you know that we have the biggest bug of the world. So now he's investigating this thing. And as for the rankings, you know that Tomsk State University now is a part of the program, which is connected with a competition between different universities because of Russian excellence program of the universities. And you can see here different rankings and our position in different things. And as to compare, in 2013, then Tomsk State University became a part of this program. Here you can see different rankings. 1, 2, 3, and it's the top 10 of these universities. Here you can see the correlation between US and UK universities, and almost all of them, as you can see, are from the US. As for Tomsk State University, we can say now we have 15,000 students. As for our academic staff, we have almost 4,020 staff members. And now it looks like this. So now we also have Indian summer. As to talk about my activity, could you please share this thing? Why it's important, so please help me.
Is that you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just last year, before arriving to the US. So it's a part of my course of corporate culture. Why this research is important for me? It's next stage. Yeah, thank you, Anton. First project that is connected with this thing, it's talent management group. I'm a part of this talent management group, and now we are working on the University Ethics Code. Now, also my project is the HR Trend Conference, and I'm a head of the tutor service and research laboratory. So I have different positions at the university. That's why this theme is very very important for me. So it's different positions, as I'm a coordinator of the ethics committee. I'm a member of program committee of the International HR Trend Conference, and coordinator and head of service. So it's different positions. And all of them actually are connected with theme of transformation, global transformation of the universities. It's different parts of my activity. I mean, professional, particular, and as all that you want to know, all that you should know about me is a son-centered position. Also, I have my grandma. She's from Ukraine. And her level of cuteness may be a little bit more than Master Yoda, as you can see from this picture. And now we return. I would like to divide my speech into 3 parts. The first one is University Corporate Culture, the Crisis and the Hope. The second will be the case, and the third one will be the conclusion. So global trends is openness to the world. You can see here globalization, internationalization, also lifelong learning concept, and model of shared governments. And also we can understand why it's important for Russia because of excellence program of 500 and the idea of the transformation from the old bureaucratic clan culture into new clan with autocracy. We are based on different works of American researchers, Bill Reading's University in Ruins and Albert, How to Pay Professors. And I would like to represent two epigraphs. One of them is this. By the way, it's a former Harvard president. It's a very huge theme. It's very heavy to do with the university. And the second one will be this, Lao Tzu. What is the last thing? A fish notices. So the culture is like we are just in the water. Sometimes we can't understand what has happened with this. But if to have a conscious attitude to the culture, it became more clear. For example, by the way, it's a term, why we choose corporate culture. No, this corporate culture is more closer to business, and the organizational culture is more universal. As for the universities, we can say that it's the most oldest organization. 900 years of universities, from the first University of Bologna from Italy. And the university we can compare with the iceberg. Here, the visible part, the attributes, style of communication among the people, dress code, and all that stuff. And underwater, conscious values and unconscious values, the assumptions. We can compare it with the structure of organizational culture from Edgar Schein. So we can see it, and very difficult to extract the assumptions. It's the most difficult thing, but we can do it by different tools, by different diagnostics. 2013. Do you remember previous class of Catherine Girard? The same thing. It is the University of 2013, at the beginning of the program. My master students, tried to figure out how it happened, how it managed. And sometimes at the beginning of this program, it was like it's something incredible to do this. To transform the university because it's like a really very huge thing. And sometimes it seemed to us that it's very difficult to change the situation because what will happen if you put sensors from rocket on a train? It's very difficult to move. And we did it, 2018. Sorry, you can see new structure of the university. It's much more clear. And it's the power of the corporate culture transformation. And now we can start our topic, the main topic, the crisis and the hope. Because sometimes what happened with our university remains as Russian mountains. By the way, do you know how we call it in Russia? This thing? American, yes, American mountains. And yeah, vice versa. The first thing which is very difficult to understand, that is simultaneously all things all together. Spiraling cost of higher education, growing worldwide competition for students. We have 250 million students right now all over the world, and 5 million students of them are mobile. And now is a struggle between universities for this talent youth. As for, I just skip because of time. And of course, for sure, it's very difficult to do it by ourselves. The most pleasant thing is that we have helpers, we have consultants, we have Skolkovo Management, School of Management, who help us to do for this thing. And on October 12th, so actually 10 days ago, Lucas Bishop published an article about Skolkovo, who helps us, universities who are now in the competition, to cope with these things. And it is, by the way, it's our strategic session. It's a method. Then the people from all over the university, sometimes the strategic sessions includes 70 or 100 people all over the university. And we are just exchanging our ideas, working in the groups. And by the way, my project of the ethics committee from there, and tutor service also. So what was the crisis about? And now it's like continuing. The first one, which is maybe not so close to Syracuse University, is such things as client commercialization, demand in the market and the university environment were rarely met before, I cite from the slide. Now they are becoming a new reality. So it's really became a new reality for the university. The management is ready to invest in those studies and projects that will bring in the future university benefits, commercial. So it's for Syracuse University, it's very close. It's like obvious thing. For Russian universities, it became like a conflict between different values. And also, additionally, we have all diploma system of distribution and all the things that you can see from this slide. And the lack of flexibility and flexibility to adapt. So it's very difficult to do all the things. Also, we understand that we have all the things, I mean, about the foresight. I mean, that we understand the global agenda. And sorry for such a lot of letters. First of all, we understand all the things. 3D printing, biodie kites, mass neuron interfaces, and that's all things. So, and I will skip internationalization, the shift of the paradigm, learning process and standards, science, what had happened to 2030, student communities, general university space, and I will skip because we go into the hope. And all the things we understand and realize that during the strategic sessions is based on the people. Because only we can do this. I mean, not anybody. We can invite somebody maybe, but all things that should be done will be done by by ourselves. So the main thing is social capital, people and the trust. The most difficult thing now to manage with it are the most vulnerable and the most necessary things in a new reality. And here you can see different links to different researchers also like support this idea. I mean, Jordan, Putnam, Fukuyama, Castells, it's different researchers all over the world from Japan, from the US, who also are about this. By the way, in September of this year was a conference, Monash Future Thinkers, which was held in Melbourne, in Australia. And it also was devoted to the transformation of the corporate culture of the universities. And also will be a conference in Boston, which will be held on 6th of December. It also will be devoted to this theme. So it's like quite popular theme all over the world, and different universities became like a base, like a place to communicate with different sides. As for our case, the second part of our presentation is about Tomsk State University, about diagnostics. Different numbers about our university. It became, we have several things about the university I can share. It's just a short memoir. Okay, that's for you. Okay, it's about the university. So it's celebrating 140 years this year, and as together the case study. Here you can see different things about structure of this staff. For example, now we have professors and teachers 26%, administrators 9%, service staff 32%, and others 33%. As for the age structure of science and teaching staff, here you can see a sort of gap maybe. And vice versa, on the administrator staff, it will be like otherwise thing. And what is the analytical conclusion? So we can see that we have different generations. Baby boomers, generation X, generation Y, and Z. Oh, like now it's like the beginning of Z generation. And as for 40 years, I mean for generation X, it's like autocracy. I mean, that's the most closest culture. And you have your own projects, you can manage yourself. And as for generation baby boomer, for this generation is very close clan culture. So it's different values based on different generations. And it's also the base of the conflict because of different directions. And after that, when we realized that is a huge gap between different groups. I mean, we have three main groups. It's the students, professors, and administration. So it's a huge gap, and we realize what we should do. And we decided to create these immersion seminars for our university community just to figure out how to deal with these things. So situation of high uncertainty, the explanation, what had happened and what to expect. The second one, it's a dialogue between different faculties. The third one, it's a dialogue, by the way, between administrators and professors, because it was difficult to discuss all that things, because the new requirements, market culture, KPI, all the things are not familiar to professor staff. Yeah, all the things. And as for diagnostic tools, here you can see the main configuration, the main design of the investigation. So we have in our thing, when I say we, actually it's about my responsibility, but in my group, I mean in different groups of the university community, we have different people who are also interested in this thing, and they are sociologists, philologists, linguists, and psychologists, and philosophers. So it's different people from different groups. And all together they combine, and we're doing, by the way, if you see the thing about me, I mean that it's the main publications. You can see there that it's different combinations with different people. The first publication was with the law advisor of our rector. The second will be with sociologists. Another will be with linguists. So it's different people, different specialists, and it's very interesting to compare different visions and to combine them all together into one thing. And this thing is, which actually I'm responsible for, it's qualitative method, quantitative methods, and phenomenological methods. So it's different things which helps us to realize what happened with the university. And again, the first thing was we analyzed the local documents. And here is the try to compare corporate culture policy and the code of ethics. By the way, there were no code of ethics in our university for 138 years. So it was my first project is to create the code of ethics, and it's also like a challenge for the university because we have known this thing, and now we should do this. I mean, according to this code. And as for the changing of the language of the university corporate culture, it's changed, by the way. It indicates change to the axiological dominant from progressive and positive, encouraging to joint activities, and what happened right now, to tense and antagonistic, calling to mobilize to compliance with the norm in the situations. And the main words, conflict, threat, corrupt behavior, and other markers. So right now we are working on this project, I mean the sort of vocabulary of new university corporate culture. And it's also like a marker because it's a little bit not dangerous, but what we can change. Also, it was focus group, different focus group. Also, we have group on 2017, but this group from 2015, it's also noticeable citations. The main thing now, the university does not understand how some kind of single body there and what is happening, doesn't understand where and what the student is, and in what position he is, and what does it mean to be a lecturer and all that things. So it's a real situation, real thoughts of our teaching and professor staff. And as to go to the metaphor, it's another tool. Do you remember what we do on the Catherine Gerald class? Do you remember that we are drawing our organization? So it's the same thing. It's a metaphor. It's a tool which helps us to realize. Could you please take me? Okay. Okay. So, do you remember the image of the iceberg? Yeah? What about the metaphor? Metaphor is the tool which helps us to explicate the most difficult thing in the corporate culture. So drawings, it's sort of maybe very simple, very easy tool, but it helps us to understand, to realize, to analyze these things. It helps us to understand what happened to the university, for example, right now. It was 2030. For example, it was a track. What do you notice about this track? Huh?
There's only 3 wheels.
Yeah, that's not enough. What else? Here is the knowledge on Russian, knowledge. Something like knowledge. That's something. Also, we can see the driver. No, driver. Do you remember мертвые души? Dead souls? Patricia, yeah? So it's like something that going somewhere without any destination, yeah, with no driver. And it was the beginning of the project. It was the beginning of the project. I will skip because it's, maybe this was the interesting shift. It's all the university community members. And here is the drawings of students. What you can notice? What? So, yeah, colors, different colors. And what we are declared, it's like a conflict between written and unwritten rules. We can declare all things, openness, globalization, internationalization, all that things. But only the students at 2016 really drawing these things. So what is in the pictures is a real in the reality in the university. So and truly internationalization, globalization appeared in the pictures of the students. So it was a shift for us. For me, it was like a sign because we need to pay attention to this part of the community. And this is 2017, when we decided to divide all the things into particular undergraduate students, postgraduate students, PhD students. So it was like every year we redesign our research just to understand what happened, particularly what happened. And professors and teachers and administrators. So good sign. Do you remember how we analyzed the drawings from Catherine Girard class? It was 4 frames: political, symbolic, yeah, HR, and structure. It was 4 frames. And here the main theme from Prigozhin is: are there any people? Do these people see the client? As for commercialization, as for the client orientation. In 2018. So analytical conclusion was a conflict between written and unwritten rules. I will skip after that. And another tool, organizational culture profile, as we call it in Russia, Akai, from Cameron Queen. It's 4 types of culture: clan, hierarchy, autocracy, and market. And 4 frames. Do you remember 4 frames from Boll and Dillman? Political, symbolic, structured, and another. So it's 4 types, and the whole organization is like between all the types, and every organization has its own configuration, correlation between these 4 types. For example, what it was 2013. It's a clan and the market. It's like a conflict between 2 quite opposite values. And this is bureaucracy and autocracy. It's also in a conflict. As for American universities, they are here between bureaucracy, hierarchy, and autocracy. It's a normal situation for the American universities. As for Russian universities, we have a conflict between market and clan. And it was until 2015, you can see that it's changed a little bit. And as for 2017, for example, administrators right now, you can see that we are changing our culture, like our managerial culture of the American universities. So it's changed from year to year. And the most interesting thing that it is the gap. Here is the real situation, current situation. And dotted lines as we wish it to be. Yes, as we wish it to be. So the main tension is between this gap, how it is in reality, yes, current situation, and how you wish it to be. So the main tension is, what I do, how to return. the same thing is with professors and teachers. We have very big gap between, particularly in this year, have a very big gap between current situation and wish situation. And as for the administrators, it's the same thing. So it's very high density. And what does it mean? Just now, we just realizing about this thing. So analytical conclusion about 3 different groups, about different presentation about the corporate culture, lack of dynamic strategy development, lack of control in the situation. And what does it mean for our university? I mean that it's not like a sort of research, only research. We are working with the strategic office, with the board of directors, and we have different situations, different events just to communicate, to discuss these things. For example, my students, they help me to gather data about the students. They prepare an analytical paper, a sort of business memo. And they defend it in front of the board of directors, in front of the strategic office. And also I prepare a policy paper, just to represent the whole ideas. So this is the main point, that it's not like a theory. I mean, it's applied project because we discuss it all the time. And we changed it, towards the university events, university policies, try to change the situation. As for decisions, you can see it's according to Akai. It's based on Akai, that is different things what to do. Then you gathering data. Thank you. And as for integrated solutions, also you can see if you're interested in. For sure, I can send you this. Could you please write me your email? Because for sure we have not enough time to do this. So as you can see. Then you gather data about the whole things, whole events of the university. You can also do this thing. Then you compare all the things. You can do the problem tree, as we call it, or problem field. And after that, after brainstorming, it became integrated solution. It's different results for 2,000 that they achieved right now. It's like part of my work. And as for the conclusion, we can say that it's really sometimes complex situation. You can see the tension is very high between different cultures. And the main idea is to transform, from one point of view, clan culture, because it's old culture, and transform it into the adhocracy culture. Then you have your own projects and you have your own responsibility for these things. And thank you. And please, questions. Is it important theme for your countries, for example? It's interesting for me, like research. Is it the same theme that is happened, for example, in the Ukraine?
To transform clan into
adhocracy. I don't know, Anton.
It's very relevant for the entire region.
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah, sure.
Please. Actually, 2. What is the goal of this University Excellence program? What is the eventual goal? And you mentioned the international student population at your university. Which countries they are coming from?
Oh, nice. Thank you. So it's a University Excellence program. It's called 500. What does it mean? It means 5 universities should be included into 100 top universities of the world. So it's like an acceleration for our universities. It's a program, top world universities. 5 universities from there. And the same program is right now in China and in France. So it's the same thing. So it's like an acceleration for the university to upgrade, to update all the content.
Are there more than 5 participants participating in the university?
Sure.
So they're kind of competing
yes.
in order to get into this.
It's a very strong. Very strong competition between different universities. Actually, we have 15 universities. But as for our rector, a very smart person, he said to Skolkovo and to the international board of directors of this program, observers, and they decided to include different universities because you know that in Russia we have 400, 500 universities of different levels. And it was a decision not to make a competition between 15 universities, but include the whole amount of the universities, because it will be more honesty and it will be useful for the all universities. And for the second question,
International students.
International
Which
students.
countries come?
We have 6 major groups. First of all, it's China, Vietnam, India, Laos, 10 students from Great Britain, and 3 or 4 students from Germany. So we are working with Asian direction mostly. And Siberia, minus 40. So you can understand that it's like a challenge for the students. Thank you. Thank you for question.
What is the business model? Like how you raise your funds? Are you heavily dependent on the government, or you gone out to the industry, or outside?
Thank you for question. Yeah, so it's, we are state university. And all the universities who take part in this competition are state university. So it's like funds from the state. It's funds for the acceleration, overdriving of the situation. And we are fighting for resources. We are fighting by different KPI. And one of the KPI is the amount of the foreign professors, amount of the foreign international students. It's a publication ranking. It's the quality of the employees. So it's different. It's 6 indicators, which helps us to understand and to realize what happened with our university, how we are competing. I'm answering your question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're state-funded university, so largely you are dependent on the state.
Yeah, we depend on the state, yes, and it's additional sources to accelerate our universities. But we understand that we should be
because in India, there is a lot of limitations in a state university because of budget constraints and so many things.
Okay.
You know, I mean, when it goes for expanding or expansion of some of the things, so they require a lot of money. Okay.
Yeah.
To undergo such changes. So the government does not come forthcoming immediately. In that case, some of the universities have gone to have kind of collaboration with the industry, maybe. Because suppose, for example, engineering. So you need some R&D work. So for industry also you can do the same. So industry sets up that kind of center of excellence.
Yeah, I see.
So
yes.
that benefits industry as well. So something corporate,
yes.
university, coming together.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, Patricia. Oh, sorry, Patricia was first. You was first.
When you started to develop this code of ethics in 2015, did you use any Western models?
Sure.
Like where?
We investigating all the types of ethics, code of ethics, all the types. From Cambridge, Oxford, from Great Britain to Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and the US for sure. Yes, and now it looks like a small text, 15 pages. Yes, but also we have another policies, conflict policies, all that things. As for the Syracuse University, you have 100 pages of different policies. Right now, I'm just dive into analytics towards the texts, so just to compare what happened. And for sure, Syracuse University is another type of university. It's private university. It has another goals, another purposes, and another techniques how to achieve the goals. Yes, thank you. Thank you for question. So we, for sure, we look at these texts. Yes, sorry.
Dimitri Mendeleev is the same person who devised a periodic table for various metals more than 100.
Could you please repeat the name? Mendeleev, yeah. Yeah. Yes. It's our sense. So he was at Tomsk State University. He also worked in our university in the chemical faculty. So now we have very strong physics and very strong chemical faculties. No, physics is strong because of nuclear, that all that stuff that is connected with the USSR. Yeah. And as for chemical, yes, Dmitry Mendeleev, it's our sense also. Okay. Any questions, please? Thank you.
Mendeleev's name is immortalized so long as the chemistry is concerned.
Yeah.
His name is immortalized. That's what I am saying. His name would be remembered forever because of his effort or because of
contribution.
It's because of his distribution into world science, for sure. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Any other thoughts, comments, questions?
Marta, thank you. So, thank you very much for coming. And also, I will be waiting for the list of email. Yeah.
Margaret has it.
Yes, I can share this presentation because all the things are in different papers, but they are on Russian. But here you can see. Yeah. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Natalia.
Marta, thank you.
Think about and consider, and thank you for all the supporting materials too.
Okay.
To help. So.
Okay.
And in 2 weeks, we will have our next peer here, so not next week, but 2 weeks, with Solomon Bora, and you will be look for information coming out on the listserv about the time and the topic. Well, the time 2 to 3 November
We
6th.
decided to do, yeah.
And the topic, we're going to keep waiting.
Thank you.
And so we'll.
So you decided to do.
Thank you once again.
Nice.
And look forward to.
Okay. Thank you.